Greetings and welcome to another episode of Ball Chat Podcast. This is Junior, and we are still practicing social distancing. We are on day, it feels like 5,325,000 3 hours and 12 seconds. But the family is here, and we also have a special guest. So Benton, my brother, come on, my sister, and the special guest. Benton, I'm going to turn it over to you because this is going to be a special episode. What's going on, Benton?
Hail up, King. Greetings, football family. Welcome to another episode of Ball Chat Podcast. Come on, you stayed up late watching Beanie Man and Bounty Killer clash. Are you still helping Beanie Man off the floor? Are you okay? Come on.
I'm good, just a little bit tired, but I'm good.
No yawning through the show today. You stay up way past your bedtime. All right, Football Lovers Ball Chat Podcast is all about reviewing the week's major news in the world of football, and we discuss a lot of stories that's in our own backyard. Of course, we're here based in the States, and of course, we have a lot of connection originally from the Caribbean. And today, joining us is the one and only Lasana Liburd, Mr. Journalist Extraordinaire, Wired868.com, over 20 years of journalism experience. With The Guardian out of the UK, also worked for the Trinidad Express for a while. Lasana, how are you doing, Reggie, down in TNT?
Fine, I'm fine. Good to be on. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you for joining us, Lasana. How are things on the ground there in Trinidad and Tobago with the COVID-19 situation?
I have to say not bad. Not bad. We haven't had a new case in maybe going on 3 weeks now. So it's going pretty good as far as that is concerned. We're still reopening the economy, so that's still slow.
Okay.
You know, the poor man feeling the pinch still in the pockets.
Yeah.
But all in all, you know, thank God for life. You know, not bad.
Okay. And football lovers, the reason why we have Lasana Liburd on with us today, he's really covered this story extensively about the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association versus FIFA saga. We have given you an extensive update or review on the stuff throughout our last few episodes. And Lasana is on the ground. He will give us more knowledge and more information because every time I read about the story, I get angry and angrier. So let's get to the meat of the matter. Lasana, TTFA is theoretically being run by a normalization committee that FIFA implemented. Why is that? And can you give football lovers some background on this? And before you start, those of you who are following us on Island Sports Network YouTube page or Ball Chat YouTube page, you can join the discussion. Also on Ball Chat Facebook page, you can join the discussion. If you have any questions or a statement for Lasana, you can send them on and I'll go ahead and read them out. But to get back to what I was saying, a normalization committee is in charge of the TTFA theoretically. Why is that, Lasana?
Well, FIFA stepped in to normalize Trinidad and Tobago football on March 17th. And if this is what normal is, I mean, our football essentially doesn't exist right now in any way. It's true that nobody's playing football right now because of COVID-19. But otherwise, since then, it's been total standstill. Nobody knows what's happening right now. You know, the head of the normalization committee, Robert Haddad, he may as well be in Zurich himself because hardly anyone has actually seen him. He hasn't gotten around to stakeholders yet. But if we go even further back, just about 6 days before Trinidad held its football elections last November 24th was the election, and Infantino was in Trinidad at the opening of the home of football, telling everyone what a wonderful job the president then, David John Williams, was doing, and described him as a teammate. Now, thankfully, Trinidad football stakeholders don't have to rely on Infantino for news, you know, because Trinidad was ranked 49th in the world when John Williams took over. Right? We are ranked, by the time the election came around, we were ranked about 150. right?
Seems like we have lost Lasana there. His internet is acting up, and hopefully we get him back online here in a little bit. But he's giving us a bit of background what's going on with the TTFA and the FIFA situation. You're back with us, Lasana. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'll take it again.
It's only the president don't want you to talk.
Sorry?
It's only the president don't want you to talk.
Right. Okay. So.
And Lasana, also I'm hearing a bit of.
After Infantino.
So 1 second before you continue, I'm hearing a bit of breeze from in your mic. Are you close to? Is that breeze? The wind, you know.
I am close to my Lasco. You guys want to sweat now. 1 second.
sorry, football family. You know, we want to make sure we hear the. Want to make sure we hear the. Want to make sure we hear.
How is this?
Good.
Better. Excellent. Thank you so much.
This is better.
So to pick up from where you left off, Trinidad was 49 at the beginning of John.
Trinidad was 49th.
Yes.
Trinidad was 49th when David John Williams took over the DFA. By the time he left, we were 104th or something.
Okay.
I do have the notes in front of me right now. Every single national team had regressed. And you're not talking about a stumble. You're talking about our women's team. The year before John Williams came in, we're within a FIFA playoff of qualifying for the actual Senior World Cup. Mm-hmm. By the time John Williams left, our women's team could not get out of a Caribbean group playing at home. You know, I mean, it's startling. Our debt went from $60 million TT, which would be, about 2 million, it's over 2 million US, to 50 million TT dollars, which would be about 3 times that amount, actually. There's no yardstick I could use to say that Trinidad football has even been stagnant. If we were even stagnant, we would take that. In every possible way. In every possible way, we had nosedived. I mean, for the year 2019, when we held the election, for instance, the only team the Trinidad men defeated in that entire year was Angola. All right? You know when they hear that, you play the worst possible team? Well, Angola is little. First 210 member associations. Angola is 210th. Literally the worst team in the world of football. Was the only team we defeated. And this was the guy that Infantino was begging us to keep. Right? The Trinidad electorate thought otherwise. They voted in William Wallace. The under-20 women. And we got to the quarterfinal of the Gold Cup, the CONCACAF rounds, which would have been, like I said, our teams would not even get into the final Caribbean stage under John Williams, let alone CONCACAF, right? There was some sponsors coming in, some recognized coaches were taking up jobs, and football fans were hopeful again. And then Infantino stepped in, right? So one thing we could be certain about in Trinidad is that whatever Infantino's wish is for Trinidad football is not for them to do well on the field, because we was very happy when we were the laughing stock of the Caribbean and we were tussling with Angola, and he was fine with that. That was, he came in and said, keep this going. Essentially, now the Trinidad football is trying to do something else, trying to work its own way up to respectability, and Infantino steps in to say that debt is a problem. We don't think you guys could manage it, so we are stepping in right now. Although, like I said before, our debt rose 3 times under the guy who we said was doing a fantastic job, David John Williams, and here we are right now trying to resist whatever FIFA has in store for us, because based on what we saw over the last 4 years when Infantino was applauding, I mean, football fans were crying on the island. And I guess that's it in a nutshell. Wow.
And let's kind of peel this apart a little bit. Come on, you're chomping at the bit to ask Lasana a question. Go ahead, come on. This is a lot.
So what is the general sense now in the association? What do they want? What do they think that they will gain from FIFA being there or the resisting of FIFA? What is it that they want to obtain? What is it that what is the goal? What is the plan for Trinidad and Tobago football team?
Well, that is a good question. Now, Wallace won the last election by a voter with 26 votes out of a possible 46. Right? That'll probably be somewhere around 60% or something like that. So straight away, you're going to get maybe 30, 40% of the electorate would think that, okay, we didn't want Wallace in there anyway, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to get some people who are saying FIFA is too strong. What's the point fighting them? Let's just, see what they have planned for us, essentially. And then you're going to have some people saying, okay, you know what? The principle of this thing is we know that this is wrong, so we're not going to make it easy for FIFA. We're going to resist on principle, right? In terms of what the end game is, I believe that they're hoping they could tie FIFA up, let's say, a good clinch, as in boxing, and hope that it sort of embarrasses Infantino into some sort of negotiating, bring him back to the negotiating table, which they were never at in the start because there was never any discussion, or that other member associations would say, you know what, this isn't right, and they would step in because FIFA is not a dictatorship. FIFA does not belong to Infantino, it belongs to all the member associations. And if other member associations said, this isn't right, show us again, justify why you're doing this, Trinidad, let's have further talk, that maybe, one of those options might help the TTFA to survive. Of course, both are unlikely, but that is the nature of the fight right now.
So do we feel, or do you feel that the only people or the only persons here who are really feeling it are the employees who have not been paid for so many months, or have they been paid now? Because I heard that they were trying to pay them from the bank accounts, and the bank accounts couldn't be accessed. Yeah. I mean, did they fix that? So do you think Wallace, FIFA, they're actually suffering, or it's the people who they have employed to TTFA?
Well, the people are suffering. They have not been paid yet. That means their last check came in February, right? Mm. Having said that, the head of the normalization committee, who has been in charge for 2 months, he has yet to even speak to his employees by Zoom or otherwise. Like how you guys were able to track me down. He hasn't been able to track down his own employees yet, right? Mm. And again, that shows how much concern FIFA has for Trinidad and Tobago stakeholders, really. It just seems to be a power grab and nothing more, right? As far as the footballers, we know there's no international football until the earliest November, and probably no youth football this year at all anyway. So in theory, the actual footballers wouldn't feel much from this anytime soon. The employees are down, and of course, it's very frustrating, I guess, for the last executive too.
Okay.
Before we, Junior, you chime in and get a question, and just to kind of recap some of the timeline for our listeners, we're talking to Lasana Liburd, CEO, editor of Wired868.com, news magazine out there in Trinidad and Tobago. We're talking about the saga between TTFA and FIFA. And just to kind of overview some of the timelines, former TTFA president John David Williams backed Infantino in 2016. Then Infantino was running for the presidency of FIFA. In November 23rd, 2019, William Wallace defeated John David Williams in the election in TTFA's presidency for TNT's presidency. Infantino backed John David Williams in that election, kind of, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. Approximately 4 months after William Wallace took office, we have the normalization committee. And Robert Haddad is now chairperson of that normalization committee. Who exactly is Robert Haddad? Is he Trinidadian? What the heck does he know about football in Trinidad and the Republic? Does he have experience with the people on the ground?
He has no real football background. He's a member of the Queen's Park Cricket Club. They have a football team. It's not in the top flight, but he's involved there at some administrative level, really lower level, probably not in any team sheets or anything like that. He sells ice cream. He has the franchise to Häagen-Dazs in Trinidad, and lighting and a lot of those companies.
We have an ice cream man in Sherman.
We have an ice cream man, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
He came into the job saying that he doesn't know anything about football. I think after 2 months, he hasn't learned anything in that time either. So I think he's probably just as ignorant now as he was then, But if we were to back up a little bit further in terms of this whole football episode, and I think it goes beyond the relationship between Infantino and John Williams,
yes.
Right? Honestly, I think the background for this whole thing is Victor Montagliani, who is CONCACAF president. As we know, he's Canadian, and as we know, there are 35 countries in CONCACAF that could vote. 25 of them are from the Caribbean.
Okay.
Right? That would make it almost impossible for someone outside of the Caribbean to be president. And yet we have Montagliani who is president.
Yes.
For him to remain in charge of CONCACAF, all right, he has to be very careful about what's happening in the Caribbean basin, essentially. It's a very, very fragile ecosystem that he relies on for power, right? And I know who his workers are in the Caribbean because, of course, he needs his eyes in the region, so to speak. I know one of his most trusted, I wouldn't want to use the word henchman. You'll probably put something else in there. Mr. Howard McIntosh, actually, of Jamaica, and who is very, very valuable to Montagliani.
Yes, he is.
In terms of keeping an eye on the Caribbean. And I think that there's something in the makeup of this current football association that might have made McIntosh raise an eyebrow and make Montagliani squirm a bit in his seat. And I think that's why, they're so adamant that this executive cannot continue. I think in the end, it boils down to CONCACAF and the intention of Montagliani, and for now Infantino, in making sure that nobody from the Caribbean runs CONCACAF. And I think that's what's behind this whole movement here.
All right, very good. Good theory. Junior, you're chomping at the bit there to get a question in. You want to ask about the ice cream man, Mr. Haddad, Junior? Go ahead.
Not really. I'm more listening and getting educated because that's the beauty about having Mr. Lasana on right now, because we have been chronicling Trinidad's the experience that the especially the workers at the TTFA have been going through from the outside. Now we have somebody that's on the inside that can give us at least some more credible information other than just reading some random posts or reading. So it is eye-opening. It's scary because, all right, my question is this, do you think FIFA is going to do some island hopping like a cruise ship now? Like, what is stopping FIFA now from saying, you know what, Trinidad, you're good now, we're setting you on the right course. Haiti, what's going on over here? Jamaica, what's going on at GFF? That is my worry right now. And what are your feelings? What are the feelings for the people around you there in Trinidad that is now experiencing a FIFA takeover? Do you guys see this as the end or what?
Well, there have not been any changes of late in any of the other FAs. So we believe that FIFA is perfectly fine there. I mean, Jamaica's Football Association hasn't been doing too well in a while, especially in financial terms. But, I don't think FIFA really cares that much about who's in debt and who's not in debt and who's losing games or not. FIFA is just concerned about its votes, you see. FIFA sees the Caribbean as a vote farm. That's all we ever were to them. We are the guys that show up, put our ballot in, look at one football match, and then everyone gets shipped back to the Caribbean, and they're fine with that, right? And you really have to look at leaders like your Randy Harris, who's the CFP president, and so on. When something is happening now, based on what Harris is saying, he was never informed about what was going to happen in Trinidad, and he doesn't think he needed to be informed, even though he's CFP president. Harris is saying that the subvention we get, which is 1.5 million US, which we are eligible for, is a gift from FIFA, and it's a privilege, right? Which is a pretty bizarre interpretation of what shareholding means, right? We as a member associations, we are all 210 member associations are shareholders of FIFA, and we're entitled to a slice of the television rights for the World Cup games and so on. This is where the money comes from, And unless we get rid of that thinking that whatever Infantino bestows upon us is manna from heaven, that we're never going to really do anything for ourselves, and it's unfortunate that right now the Caribbean is divided to this point where most of the administrators, once they get some US and a business class trip to Zurich every year, they're happy for that.
Not even first class, business class.
Not even first class.
But if don't you think if we are looked upon as a voting bloc, you don't think they're supposed to treat us better than how they treat us? Or don't you think that we should demand better treatment? Because you need our vote. So the little money that they give us and we think that it is the best thing since sliced bread, you have to put it on the leaders of the Caribbean who are, in Jamaican terms, licky, because that's exactly what we are. So, with this thing with Trinidad, Jamaica, we're watching it because I have a feeling that they're going to roll in to Jamaica. Forget that our ranking is better than you. And yes, the JFF is in disarray. I mean, we'll never have enough money, but with the auditing and the deadline, and I do think that FIFA is just a couple months from rolling into Jamaica as well. Yeah. So that was. Go on.
Now, the thing is, as much as the Caribbean islands are doing badly, right? Now, remember under Sepp Blatter had this annual subvention for, let's call it, developing football nation, where they would give 450,000 US. And somebody big, there's a lot of controversy because people felt there wasn't enough oversight of this money. And essentially, it was like a bribe to somebody, the association, you do what you like with this money. What Infantino did is triple that money. So instead of that, now you're getting 1.5 million US. Now think about it. An island like Montserrat, not wanting to, of course, we are small ourselves, but they're talking about a lot of islands who we know barely play maybe 3-4 matches a year. They're getting the same 1.5 million US.
Yeah.
So our football in the Caribbean is doing badly, but that doesn't mean that the administrators aren't doing pretty well. You see. And of course, you look at Jack Warner. Now, Jack Warner fully understood the power of this voting bloc, and he fully understood that, listen, you all need our votes to give us something back. The problem was that what Jack Warner got back never made it to football, you see. It went to his own, it went to his own bank accounts. So it's even beyond the administrators having some backbone. It also needs the actual stakeholders, that would be the zones, the parishes, the clubs, right? To also understand that they should be getting something more out of this equation and they should be demanding more. And then the fans as well. Now we know that fans don't vote in this thing, so we are like the least of the apostles, really. But the more understanding we have of how this thing works, hopefully we could put pressure on the administrators to then, kick it up the line and see if we could get something going. Something like, let's say, a Caribbean football league, for instance. It would take about 6-8 million US, really, to have a decent Caribbean league, maybe about 4 months, 4 months, something like that, involving Caribbean islands, which will give us, our youth, something to do, something to aspire to. You know, it'll be great. I'm sure Infantino has $4 million US between a couch right now in Zurich, right? But he's not sending it over here. You understand? So it's not even going to take much to make a difference within the Caribbean, but they just don't think we are worth anything.
Yeah.
You know, but this is where we are.
But isn't that? But then, aren't you supposed to blame us then? I mean, like, you know, we can have all the ideas in the world, right? We can go into a meeting and have the ideas, but if we don't talk up, if we don't speak about it, then how will the presenter know that you have these thoughts? So the ideas maybe are being tossed around, you know, in the islands, but they're not reaching who, you know, need to have it. And yeah, he probably have 4 million each up with the lint in his pocket. But I just think that we are void of ideas. And I think the administrators for these football associations, they've never played the game. And as you said, they have no idea about the game. And sometimes you need somebody who, you know, knows football that you can put, like for Ricketts don't know football. Yeah. Ricketts don't know anything about football, but yet he's the head of the Jamaica Football Federation. It's laughable.
Benton.
You know, it's laughable.
Benton.
I don't think, honestly, well, the thing is, Montagliani's record is just as poor if you look at what he accomplished in Canada. It's not much. Infantino is a bureaucrat. The billions that FIFA has in the bank, that has nothing to do with Infantino. Yeah. You know, Infantino walked into the job. He locked in. He inherited. Right. You know? Yeah. So, I mean, part of it, I think, would be us having a little bit more self-esteem, essentially. Right. To think that we're even worthy of having a talk with these guys, you know? Because, you know, they're not much better, if at all. You know, Infantino, the Montaglianis, these guys with the suits and the accents and what have you. You know, they're really not much better. You know, we know here in the Caribbean, if you look around, we know the quality of players that we have produced in the Caribbean. We also know that there is some intellectual strength in the Caribbean. I mean, unfortunately, sport isn't a big industry in the Caribbean. And because of that, the brightest minds don't tend to gravitate towards sports because it isn't really an industry where you would earn a lot in the Caribbean. But we do have intellectual strength down here, and we could make a difference too. But, you know, you're right. It does start with us to an extent.
Yeah. Yes, so if Dwight York and what's our striker again? What's our tall striker?
Kenwyn Jones. Kenwyn
Jones. Are they involved in football in any way, shape, or form in Trinidad?
Well, Dwight York is a FIFA ambassador, so you could forget about him. For help anyway. You know what Infantino does? One of the things he does, you know, they collect a lot of they collect retired footballers of a particular name. And you know, at those car shows when they bring out the car with some girls in two-piece bikinis and so on, you know, Infantino tends to use former players in that way for the show and the parade and everything else, you know. So not much, you know, not much help there. And we know administration and playing is so different. It's like the difference between being a jockey and being the horse. You know, the horse doesn't know anything about being a jockey, and a jockey doesn't know much about being the horse either. You know? So I wouldn't expect Dwight York to help us out of this.
But then let me do this though. Let me not to say switch gears, but what I want people that are watching us right now, that are listening to the show on our audio platforms later on in the week or wherever you're watching us right now, I need to understand that, for number one, we're talking to Mr. Lasana Liburd of Wired868.com, and you should be able to hear the passion in his voice, right? For football, for the Trinidad and Tobago football, but for football in general. And if you watch our shows, we've been beating football administrators, like beating them, like giving them some licks for the last couple of weeks. And I don't want people that are probably listening to us now for the first time thinking, yo, why are these guys going off like this? we need to understand the importance of the game to society, the importance of the game to our countries. We're third world countries, there's no disrespect. But if the sport is run well, if a good product is put on the field, people will go, people will pay, people will watch it. Why is it that the administrators don't see this? So listen, I have to ask you this, I need you now to let the people know exactly about you and football. What is your favorite Trinidad and Tobago football moment?
A favorite football moment?
Yeah.
I think that would have to be at in Dortmund, June 2006 at the World Cup. You know, standing up, it was a brilliant sunshine, by the way, that day. Standing up for the national anthem before we faced Sweden in our first World Cup game. You know, I was in Bahrain as well when we got that 1-0 win. That was a very, very exciting day. You know, but being in Germany for the World Cup, and especially at the final whistle where we had managed to hold on for a goalless draw. You know, because you got a lot of talk from the Swedish fans before the game saying, you know, 3-0, 4-0 easy, you know, and to come out with a result at the end of it. I mean, that would be the most enjoyable moment, I would say, as a football fan.
Zine, I know, you know, as an outsider, because I tell one of my ex-seminars that I am a Trinidadian Jamaican. She's a Trinidad and hot-blooded Trinidad woman. Yeah. But anyway,
they
one
all
of my
in Trinidad.
you people, why? But one of my greatest moments is when Trinidad enacted revenge on the United States of America. I grew up hearing about the 1990 World Cup qualifications when all Trinidad needed was a draw to make it to the World Cup and never make it. And when them come back and beat America, that was one, for me, one of my greatest moments. I felt my 20% Trini joy and pride at that moment.
So football lovers, we're talking to Lasana and Liburd as we found out a junior, aka engineer now, 20% Trinidadian. And Lasana, we know you're gonna have to go, but we want to put a wrap on this. You've been giving us very, very enlightened us on a lot of stuff regarding the TTFA versus FIFA saga. But one final question I have on this front. CAS. William Wallace has taken his case to CAS. They've abandoned, recently, as a couple of reports have come out, they've abandoned that case. And now they're going to take it to the High Court in Trinidad. I mean, when will this thing end? Does William Wallace literally have a shot going to CAS? I mean, I guess that's presumption of why he's moved into High Court. And is there any legal precedent to win a case in the High Court and be able to run the organization if he does win it in the High Court in Trinidad?
Yeah, it's more likely than not that if we win any High Court, which I think is a very strong possibility, that FIFA would suspend the TTFA, you see, because FIFA would not be able to do what it likes with Trinidad football, so it would simply retreat and abandon Trinidad football, you know, until we, let's say, play along with them, right? I think one of the issues with CAS, apart from the hints of bias, and we know that CAS is financed by the different sporting bodies, you know, one of the issues was that they felt they were being unfairly priced out, you know, because FIFA, TTFA had asked for one adjudicator. Each adjudicator is between 8 to 15,000 Swiss francs. Yes. TTFA asked for one. FIFA asked for three, which is triple the cost. Yeah. And then FIFA refused to pay any money up front. So that means Trinidad FA had to pay for all three judges themselves, you see. Okay. Which I think in any normal case would be extraordinary that one side has to pay his share and the other side's share too. You know, and I think it would be the frustration, but I think also financial issues. You know, they've never gotten any money from FIFA. They're cash strapped. And I think they almost got priced out of finding justice at CAS, which is extraordinary that they can't afford justice.
Yeah, they can't afford it. And one final question. I said there are so many things on this, and I know we're pushing up against the clock. Nike and Nike deals. There's an elephant in the room about a potential Nike deal. Can you fill us in on the situation on what is going on with a Nike deal or a fall through of a Nike deal? And what exactly is that about?
Well, in the election campaign, William Wallace had this kind of glitzy presentation about all the potential sponsors. And one of them was Nike, right? The then president, David John Williams, contacted CONCACAF president Montagliani, who contacted Nike, who then said, well, actually, this is all, yes, there have been discussions, but nothing is confirmed yet and so on. And essentially Nike withdrew, right? The most interesting thing about that, I would think, would be that Montagliani would get himself involved in a Trinidad football election, which again points to the fact that Montagliani and Infantino are looking at this for other reasons, right? And it's particularly curious because when the FIFA Bureau decided to send a normalization committee in, CONCACAF had a representative on that panel as well. Mm-hmm. I have contacted CONCACAF to find out if Montagliani was in the room, and they haven't responded to me. But to me, if Montagliani was in the room, it's a potential conflict of interest because you could you could infer that maybe Montagliani was working against Wallace even before he was elected. Right? But so that was the talk about Nike. It was just a campaign promise. Okay. I don't know if it would have ever happened, but I felt that Montagliani getting involved in that way, to me, as an external party, is very, very curious. And just a couple more questions as we're pushing up against the clock. Here, look, Mark Pratt watching us on.
Excuse me, Benton. Just the last question, 2 questions. I'm going to hug all of the questions. I mean, come on.
All right, go ahead. Come on.
But before you go, so isn't the new kit deal with Avec, a UK-based company, and based on the information about the kit deal, it seems as if Trinidad will actually owe money because you have to hit a certain point or a certain amount of money before you can get your kits for free. Like you have to sell like 7,500 jerseys are before you can get your kits free. Have you heard about that? Well,
there's been a lot of misinformation from one particular media house, to be fair. That would be the Trinidad Guardian newspaper, I would think. And some of their coverage hasn't been as accurate as it should be, right? Now, I haven't seen the Avec deal myself, but then neither have they, right? What the General Secretary explained is that you get a certain amount of kit for free, and then there's a bonus if on top of that you sell a certain number. So it's not that we have to sell the number to get the free kit. We already get the free kit. But if you want to make money on top of it, then you have to sell a certain amount, and then the TTFA will actually get 80% of the bonus, with the other 20% going to the local supplier. So it's one of those things. The other thing would be a building deal and a REMA and so on, and some of the coverage of it was really shaky, But
it's all better than Jamaica kit deal, though. but before Benton take over, is Anton Cornel? Is it Cornel? Is he still the coach of the female team? And was he paid the $3.4 million that he won?
Oh my goodness!
He is not. Cornel is he's still waiting for his money like everybody else, and I think right now there are about a few dozen attorneys waiting for FIFA's money to hit the bank account so they could, move in the next day with bailiffs and so on, And I think Cornel is one of those guys waiting with his attorney anytime FIFA money comes in. But no, Anton hasn't been paid yet, and right now he's not a coach.
There's a lot of claim to that money even before it touches the bank. Wrapping up, this has been quite informative. Lasana, regarding another question, I keep remembering things that I'm very curious about, but FIFA put this normalization committee in place because of, quote, liquidity and insolvency, end quote. It's been 4 months approximately or thereabouts for the Williams administration, and it's limited data. But did you guys see any evidence of things, we know the last administration was horrible in terms of managing the books. Did we see anything positive from the Williams administration during the short period to say that things were looking to try to improve?
Well, they have been transparent so far, but then it would be easy because they've been transparent with what the last guy did.
Okay, so he's more transparent than the Williams administrator, David Williams.
So far, I mean, this is what seemed to have gotten him in trouble with FIFA.
Yes.
Right. His general secretary wrote to the FIFA members, chief officer, that's Veron Musongo, and told him, listen, we're going to audit the home of football, and we know you were involved in the home of football, and guess what? If we find anything, we're going to put it in the press. And and then he says, oh, by the way, don't forget to let FIFA send the money down that they have for us. You know?
That man woke up an ant's nest. He woke up an ant's nest.
Now, I would say, if you're going to do an investigation, you do the investigation, you find your stuff, and then you come out. You know, you don't tell people before you do it that you're going to investigate them. But, in the wisdom...
It doesn't sound like those people need to be in office if they're doing that.
This is what the general secretary did, And of course, the FIFA guy said, oh, you want the money? Yeah, don't worry, we'll get it to you. And the money never came here, and they moved them out instead,
Yes.
So there may have been some naivety involved there as well, possibly with the best of intentions, you would hope. Of course, they are being transparent with the last guy's sins, and we'd hope that they are just as open with what they do.
Yeah.
But for now, we will say that they were trying to be transparent, and people didn't like the songs of that.
Yeah. And last question for me. I know you got to go, and we're gonna have to talk again in the future. But last question for me, Lasana, and we're talking about Lasana Liburd of 868.com, wired 868.com out in Trinidad. Does this mean, the loss of a Jack Warner and a Captain Burrell in the Caribbean mean that the power structure in the Caribbean, the former powerful men, have weakened our overall outlook in the world, our position in the world in the regional soccer, that is? The corrupt as they've been alleged to be.
Well, I mean, you can't miss out Jeffrey Webb.
Yes, Jeffrey Webb. Because he's
Jeffrey
actually
Webb,
here.
He was supposed to be the golden boy.
Yes, he's here in Atlanta waiting to go to jail now.
Yeah. He was the last guy,
Yes.
and after that, they felt that was enough, and here we go with Montagliani, I mean, this thing can't hold forever.
Okay.
What they're trying now, inevitably at some point, the Caribbean will have someone again, and we hope he does a lot better. If Mr. Howard McIntosh would allow it, of course. And we hope that guy does a lot better in the future. I mean, CONCACAF is awful, to be honest. If you look at the annual awards for CONCACAF is a joke. The youth tournament, they're having youth tournaments in the middle of school terms. There's no more real regional conduct. If the CFP president wants to buy a pen, Miami has to ship one down for him rather than sell them $5 to buy the pen. They're totally emasculated the Caribbean, and there's so much improvements that could be made. And hopefully at some point we get the right intellectual capacity up there in one of those nice soft chairs,
Yeah.
Well, Lasana, let me just say this. Benton, because today's show is different, completely different than the regular show, and I love it, right? And normally I am the person that have the beating stick, and I beat I'm going to keep referencing the beat because we're beating Trinidad and Tobago FA right now, and they need to be beaten. CONCACAF. Haven't started beating CONCACAF yet, you know. And I'm going to beat them now.
Yeah.
There's no reason why the Gold Cup is hosted by the United States of America every 4 years. Yeah. When you have so many teams, right? And if CONCACAF, all the nations have to vote for a president. Like you have eloquently said, and we all know, he should always have a Caribbean president somewhere sitting up there or somewhere high up, right? And the Caribbean have more teams in CONCACAF than America, Mexico, and obviously, right? Why is it that the Gold Cup isn't shared? And I don't want to hear anything about infrastructure. Why is it that somewhere down the line, there was talk about 12 years ago, there was whispers about the Caribbean possibly hosting a World Cup. It's the #1 tourist destination in the world. And you have FIFA type stadiums. Why not? So things like these need to happen, need to be in place. And with what you have talked about and using Trinidad as a subset, using the Trinidad experience right now as an example, it shows why the region cannot go forward. And like you said, and I 100% agree, they look at the Caribbean like it's just a vote, it's just like a voting bed. But we don't care about you guys' football. Just bring enough people to vote. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you look at the CONCACAF Champions League club football, for instance, right? And you know all the Caribbean teams fight to get maybe 2 or 3 teams to go in the bottom round to get licks and go home, right?
Yeah.
Now, they could restructure the CONCACAF tournament so that from early on, let's say we are in qualifying groups that include North and Central America, from early on, you know, let a team from Barbados have a chance to host a team from Canada or something like that. Yeah. So we all get to see some quality football ever so often on the island, right? And they could share the money as well. Now, as it is right now, Mexico and America have all the money. They like IPL. So they keep everything to themselves. The CONCACAF president could ensure a more equitable split of the money so that the little clubs in the little regions get something as well, you know, so they could do a better job. They don't really share the resources, as we know from the Caribbean. They don't share the resources with the Caribbean with our football. You know, clubs in the Caribbean, some, you know, struggling to even make airfare. And these are very, very simple things that CONCACAF could see about if they really care to do so. You know, but definitely club football would be one avenue where instead of having all the Caribbean teams fight for 2 guys to move up, they could have the Caribbean inside of a larger CONCACAF pool where a team from the revenue, so these guys could make a return trip to Mexico, which CONCACAF will pay for, you know, not us.
Yeah.
And expose our guys to football and let our fans see some good football and really get the young people, the fans and so on a boost. Yeah. All of this is very easy. It doesn't cost that much money.
And it makes perfect sense. And that is the reason why the United States of America is nowhere near possible winning the World Cup. That is why Mexico always have a decent enough team but have nowhere near the chance of winning the World Cup because the region you're playing is garbage. And in terms of quality of football. And how do you bring up the quality of football? You increase the competitive nature amongst the teams. But you're not doing that. So you're tying your hand behind your back for whatever reason. And then you're going to say, well, you know, we're not making it we can't win a World Cup. You can't win a World Cup because you're not playing against good teams. So you have...
Small-minded thinking.
Small-minded. All right, Lasana, thank you for joining us. Let the listeners know how they can get in touch and get access to your material. Really appreciate you taking, and we've got to talk again sometime in the future. I really appreciate you keeping us up to date.
No problem. You know, wired868.com. And let me say as well, the point that you guys made about this big stick, right? Now, when I started off as a young journalist, I remember this would have been maybe the 98 World Cup qualifying campaign that I was covering, I believe. And there were a lot of problems. Our team was very, very talented at the time. You know, we had the David Nackett, Latapi, Dwight York, everyone was at the peak. and the administrative issues. Well, yeah, we were a big team then, right? And you had players not showing up because of a quarrel with the FA. You had plane tickets being messed up and all sorts of incompetence, right? And I told myself as a young reporter that for me to give football fans the best idea of what's happening, I can't just focus on what's going on the field, you see. Yeah. Because if the striker came into the game the night before the match, then that might be why he's playing as poorly as he is on match day. And it wouldn't be fair to my readers to only hear he's having a poor match and not understand different things that went into him having a poor match, you see. So I think it's very important for persons to also cover not just what happens on the field, but what happens off the field in the offices. And it's something that a lot of reporters don't do. In the Caribbean, yes, but also everywhere. Everyone you like to watch the game, so people prefer to just focus on what's happening on the field. You know, but it's very important to go beyond that, to get a holistic view of what's happening. So, you know, kudos to you guys as well for the big stick. You know, they need the big stick too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Benton, I got to ask this question, Lasana. Your favorite Trinidad player of all time, your favorite football player of all time, and I just have a feeling you're a Manchester United fan, but I just want to confirm you're a Manchester United fan.
Someone out in foolishness, brother.
My favorite football player of all time is Russell Latapy.
Baller.
Player. All right? Now, you know this saying, I think in Brazil there's a saying that Pele was the best, but Garrincha was better.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So here, Dwight York was the best because he accomplished the most. He was a technically perfect player. But Latapy, with his vision and his artistry and his touch on the ball, you know, it's just something that, you know, seduce football fans. So for me, he'd be my favorite, as much as I respect what Dwight York did.
And Manchester United?
I do like Manchester United, yeah, you know.
Okay.
I waited for them to get Pochettino, though. Come on, man. So
Smart man.
Yeah, Russell Latapy, the little magician, now head coach of Barbados, and TTFA also owes him some money too, right? Yeah. So big ball.
Everybody.
Yeah. They owes everybody some money.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed talking to you. You need to come back for part 2 because I am the person who advocates for female footballers. We have to talk about the women's football team. Yeah. And we also need to talk about why is it that I don't see any female Trinidadian referees on the international or the world stage. I don't see them. And, you know, Jamaica has, I think we have 6. Yeah. You know, or 6 but 3 that are really out there, like, you know, refereeing the World Cup.
Yeah, like, Trinidad has one, Crystal Sobers, but yeah.
I haven't seen her out there on the world stage. So we will talk about that.
Oh, not FIFA level. No, not FIFA. CONCACAF.
See, we have to talk about that, and we have to talk about the progress that you see with, let's put it with the U20s. I think they lost 4-0 versus Mexico in the U20 quarterfinals. I think it was just the other day. So you have to come back, and we have to talk about you know, ways in which we can improve, because you guys have a lot of Trinidadian players on the college scene and in the US. Because I even know one, Nia Walcott. She played for Trinidad, and she's still in the pool. So you guys have a good group of players, but you're just not, you know, doing it on the pitch. So we have to talk when you come back for
Sounds like Jamaica. Rastafari. Lasana, thank you so much.
No problem, anytime.
And we'll touch base.
I enjoyed the talk myself.
All right.
Yes, sir. Thanks. Have a good one.
All right. Okay, guys. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Football lovers, yo, that was a wonderful discussion with Lasana Liburd of wired868.com. Let's kick it off with some other major news in the world of football. Bundesliga week 2 in quarantine. Junior, come on. Big matches played out this weekend. Your thoughts on it? Was the quality better? Come on.
It was better. It was better. You know, some matches as you expect, were boring and whatever. But the big names actually came through. I never realized that so many old players are playing in the Bundesliga. You have a 33-year-old guy, a striker, and I think it was Hertha Berlin or Berlin, one of them.
Yeah.
And they were celebrating this 33-year-old man. I mean, he was okay, he didn't do anything great, but for some games, it was just, and for some games, it was, oh, okay, this can go on, but Bundesliga quality is not the best right now.
It's not, but we'll quickly just touch a few other points and then talk about Dortmund versus Bayern coming on this weekend, in the middle of the week on Tuesday. And we're pushing up against the clock, and we have a few things I want to touch. But quickly, Mönchengladbach and Bayern Leverkusen was a pick of the matchup. Leon Bailey was on the bench. Diaby was exceptional. It seems like Bailey. It seems like his days are numbered. And Mönchengladbach, what's going on with Alexander Plea? He was supposed to be a star of this team. Seems like he's missing. Are they regressive? What's going on?
Jordan, you want to touch that one?
Listen, I don't really business about Mönchengladbach and Player right now and all these things. Let me just be upfront and straight again.
All right,
hold on. The greatest thing this weekend is they finally figured out. They figured out that they can pipe in the noise, the stadium noise, right?
Oh, the fan noise.
The fan noise, which I think was brilliant. I think it was brilliant. Big up Jason Frame. I think it was brilliant.
It was okay.
But
it was okay.
And that was in the Leipzig game against Men's, right?
And the FC Cologne game too. That they actually came back and draw.
The hat trick. But listen, Diaby he's not exceptional, and I'm not understanding why is it that it seemed like him eat Leon food.
Come on.
But wait, when he didn't get sub for him, so I mean the coach didn't sub Diaby. At one point I heard the commentator say that Bailey plays a selfish football, and I'm like, isn't that his style? He's an attacking player. He goes towards goal. I mean, like, I just don't understand it. But for this young man to come in and eat him food, it's disturbing. So I'm expecting him to leave to go to a big club.
All right, let's see which bigger club. Manchester United, line yourself up.
Oh, hey, listen. I'm bedtime.
Yes.
The views you're about to hear is 100% Junior Pringle. It has nothing to do with ball chat. Big up
and come on and Benton, how with him?
It has nothing to do with come on and Benton. Big up to Island Sports Network. Big up to everybody watching on Facebook, YouTube. I don't have Twitch on today, unfortunately. But if you're watching if you're listening on the audio platform later, big up yourself every time, okay? We are all Caribbean oriented, but we are trying to give a product to the entire world. I know a lot of people are saying, why is this big, long disclaimer? I'm going to tell you why. Liam Bailey is an overhyped footballer. And it's full time. It's full time. We'll get over this hype right now. He's no different than Jesse Lingard at this moment.
Those views are views of Junior.
They are views of me, and I 100% own it. So anybody on Island Sports that want to run, come defend him, want to know if I find me. juniorculture82@gmail.com. Email me. Bad me up. But the reason why I'm saying this is this. When Bailey was at Genk, and all of this hype, it was well deserved. But I was saying this from jump. Yes, he's a talented young footballer, but he has to grow and mature, and his talent has to mature with him. What is happening to him right now should not be highlighted as big news. You're not performing, so a better player is taking over your spot. Case closed, end of story. I don't know why we have to run the... Brother, go run some laps, man, and learn to pass the ball better, man.
Leon Bailey, thank you, Junior. Leon Bailey had scored 5 goals in 15 appearances in 2019-2020 season for Bayer Leverkusen, and there's a lot of goals than Jesse Lingard. So take back your talk, Junior. Come on, as we try to wrap up the show, Bayern Munich versus Dortmund is a big matchup this week on Tuesday at 12:30 p.m. What do you expect from that match? You know, both teams are pretty much on a high coming in.
I think Dortmund's going to beat Bayern. You know, Bayern is okay. They're doing well. I think. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the matchup or the player to watch is going to be Alphonso Davies and Junior Boy Holland. But I think Dortmund is going to pull it out because they have the attacking pieces.
Junior, yesterday Bayern Munich played Frankfurt. They led 3-0. And Frankfurt scored 2 goals and closed the gap, and then Bayern Munich just pretty much turned on the brakes again. I mean, can Dortmund outscore with this Bayern outfit?
Well, right now I just want to know who DJing the fun nights, you know. That's all I want to know, because the problem with these games are when you sit down and watch a game. Take today's game, for example. FC Cologne versus Düsseldorf. I think that's the name. They were down, Cologne was down 2-0 at home, right? And Cologne right now is 11th in the table, while the other team is in the relegation battle, right? Mm-hmm. For 80-something minutes, the other team was playing like their life depended on it. And FC Cologne was just like, whatever. And them down 2-0, missed a penalty, and then scored 2 goals within the last 5 minutes when they really showed up. I'm saying all of this right now to say that the fact that there are no fans in the stand, the fact that we're now having stadium noise being piped in, as a player, as a human being, I really think it's hard for these players to look at these games as a normal functioning football game. I cannot predict these games. It's impossible, because a player might come and go out there and you hear the crowd noise in your ears. I was laughing to myself when the Cone striker tried a bicycle kick, and the crowd noise was the same crowd noise. And I'm thinking to myself, if I was a player and I just bust a bread or salad and I don't hear nobody making a noise, how does that affect my psyche? If I am a player and I hear the next coach talking to his opponent all the way across the field, your normal day-to-day, your normal minute-to-minute on the field has completely changed. How can I play the game the same way?
I disagree, because first of all, everybody watching you do that, score the goal, do the bicycle kick. They're not going to tweet you, they're not going to Instagram you, they're not going to text you, they're not going to call you, they're not going to WhatsApp you. You're still going to get the props, especially if your team wins. So you keep on saying, it's your job. If 1 million people watch you or 1 person watching you, it is your job. Go out there, go win the games. I don't understand. You make one bag, you know what?
Yeah, thank you. Come on, thank you. All right, come on. Since you're there, you're here with us, and Junior is out to lunch. Jadon Sancho. Quickly, Jadon Sancho and Thiago Alcantara. Jadon Sancho coming back from an injury. He played, 25 minutes in the game against Dortmund, for Dortmund this weekend. Thiago Alcantara didn't appear this week, and to my knowledge, he didn't appear for Bayern. You expect those players, if Thiago cannot play in the matchup, to be a big miss. Come on, and for Jadon, you expect him to start, right, on Tuesday?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll start, but I do think if he doesn't play, it's going to be missed. But I mean, they've been doing well without him, so it does keep going.
Yeah. Bayern Munich sits 4 points ahead of Dortmund going into the game Tuesday, 26 at 12:30 p.m. And why in the world is this game on a Tuesday? It makes no sense.
But Benton, everybody is at home. What are you saying? We're not going
anywhere. I'll be at work. Come on, I'll be at work. All right, Project Restart update. Come on, what's the latest that happened this week? More players test positive. EPL Project Restart. What
yes,
does?
An unnamed Bournemouth player is one of the 2 new coronavirus tests discovered. But it sounds bad, but the numbers are actually good. So, they had 2 positive cases from 2 separate clubs out of a total of 996 tests. So, in total, they have 8 positive cases from 1,744 tests across 2 rounds. So, the 8 might seem high, but in actuality, it's not. It's not alarming. So I think they'll be fine. I think they're talking about resuming training and for 75 minutes.
Yeah, scaling up training and essential to the next step. Julian, come on again, rapid fire and ball shots as we're pushing up against the time. Troy Deeney and Ian Wright was on a discussion with the Secretary of Health or the Minister of Health in England, talking about Black, Asian, and minority players who are at greater risk. We've seen a lot of higher deaths or higher mortalities with minority group from the COVID-19. Your thoughts on that, and should Black and minority players be concerned about playing the EPL? Troy Deeney and Ian Wright had that very lively discussion with the Minister of Health.
Junior, take that away now.
You want another disclaimer?
You know what? No more disclaimer.
No, I'm giving a disclaimer because Troy Deeney, big up yourself. I support you 100%, but right now I can't support you in this argument. I don't know, and I leave this to the medical experts, but based on what I know, or based on what we've heard or we've been told, is people with underlying health conditions are the ones that are succumbing, unfortunately, to this pandemic. And we can all agree to that, right?
Yeah, we can agree to that. But according to them, based on the numbers we've seen so far, Black, Asian, and minority groups seem to have been having worse outcomes, more adverse outcomes because of COVID-19.
But Benton, we have to figure out what is the reason why. Because if you're telling me that you have a virus that can pick, choose, and refuse a race, that's a completely different conversation that we're talking about. Races of people in different social brackets. And the people that are within the lower brackets, unfortunately, are us. The minorities, the Black and the Asians. We can all agree. That is something that I think we should all be able to agree on.
Yeah.
Troy Deeney, you are not one of us. You are making millions of dollars. If you are to cough tomorrow, you can make your way to the hospital faster than me can walk across to pick up my remote. If you cough tomorrow, the hospital comes to you. So that's not a reason right now for you don't want to play football because the Black man and Asian people around the world are dying. Boss, it's a different circumstance. Now, if it's proven that we are more susceptible to the virus because of our race, that's a completely different argument. But based on what I've been told and what I'm reading on the news, which I can't really agree with all the time or believe, if we were to believe what we're told about the virus, Troy Deeney not nothing to worry about. You can get it as long as somebody beside you sneeze. You, whether you're white, black, Asian, dog, puss, lion, the whole lot will catch a virus. So you know nothing to do with...
But that's not the reason why Troy Deeney is saying that he doesn't want to play. He's saying that he has a 5-month-old baby who has difficulty breathing.
Thank you, come on.
No, hold on. I agree with that. But the premise about the Black and the Asians are being more susceptible to the virus.
I don't know about Asians. The one Asian we know play Premier League and fight war.
But it was a discussion about minority groups that, and like Troy so eloquently stated, he has a family that he's very much concerned about, and we have seen other adverse events, outcomes in minority groups.
Same thing with Kante of Chelsea.
N'Golo Kante, who has also been given some clearance to miss training, right?
To miss the whole season if he want.
I hope him not take no money. I hope him not take no salary.
Well, you want to
leave.
come on, you want to take money out of Conte pocket? Come on, are you saying that on ball chat right now?
Yes, Conte, listen to me. If I am taking off from work, it's not vacation, it's unpaid leave.
All right, that more discussion will continue this week with Project Restart as they try to kick off kick off the EPL in June 12th.
But Benta, what's some comments? Big up Brads. Brads is saying, Brads on Island Sports saying, try a idiot. Him said Jamaica no worth playing for. All right, Brads. Crime Minister saying Bailey on a far higher level than anyone JFF can put on the field with him. Junior, chill. Brother, look at what Solskjaer said about his Manchester United team. Apply that to Bailey. Jason Frame said, Junior, I agree with you upon Bailey. Big baller come a reggae boys and so far him flop. Remember USA versus Jamaica, expect him to show him class. Pulisic outshone him. Pulisic outshine the man. Can you believe that? Jason Frame, don't make the program done and on the chat about Yapstam. Yapstam, Manchester United, run away from the place, man. Don't want them disrespect you, man.
All right, so thank you, Jason Frame. Let's switch to that as we're pushing up against club. Rapid fire. Ball chat. Come on, Yatstam is now the coach. It's him or his brother who's the coach of FC Cincinnati. What's going on?
Are we sure? Are we sure is that? I mean, like, it could be anybody. It could be Brad Friedel. It could be anybody else. It could be
Jason Statham,
the guy who come in a transporter. I mean, it could be any ball-head man. Are we sure that's the person? It could be any ball-head man.
Come on,
listen.
Come on.
Yeah?
It could be It could be Benton after going to New York for the winter.
That's true. Benton could be light skin. But listen, you know what? That's about sometimes good things come from bad things. If nobody was following FC Cincinnati before, this is the perfect opportunity for the social media person to put FC. Just own it. Just own the error and just use it as just a springboard.
Come on.
And football lovers, those of you who are not aware, FC Cincinnati hired a coach and then its marketing or on its social media platform, it put the wrong image of Yak Stamp. Whose image did they put up on the social media? Junior, come on. FC Cincinnati doesn't even know the picture of their so-called new coach.
Benton, come on. Hopefully, the social media person for FC Cincinnati watches Ball Chat. I really hope you do. And don't listen to what Camon just say, yeah? Know who Yapstam is. Know what position he used to play and look up his videos. You disrespect him, brother.
But them know because they changed it, they corrected it. But may I say, people never follow FC Cincinnati. They never even know who FC Cincinnati is. This mistake is being reported. CNN, ESPN. So this is the perfect time, it's an opportune time to go out there and sell FC Cincinnati. Them already suck. I mean, just sell it and unsuck.
Yak Stamp is coming to FC Cincinnati from Feyenoord. That was his last coaching job in the Dutch league. He has a wealth of experience as a player, quite successful career. Used to coach play for the Idiot side, the Empire, for a while there. Rapid fire ball chat as we wrap up the show. Leon Bailey versus the JFF.
Hold on. Before we go into that, Benton, big up AA Tenant from London City, just forwarding. AA Tenant from London, big up.
Big up yourself, AA Tenant. Leon Bailey versus JFF. What's out the suspension, if any? Craig Butler has put in a press release, or put out a press release regarding this saga. I mean, one day it's another thing. I mean, come on, Junior. What's your latest thoughts on this saga?
Listen, to me, this is my thing. Both sides need to just take a chill pill and just relax. What Bailey said is what everybody say. Everybody say it. But them always say, and everything good for eat, good for talk. There's always a time and a place to do it. he wasn't really disrespectful, but he was talking about the coaches, his job or the way how he manages the team. Leave that to Tapa or leave it to a one-on-one conversation with Tapa. For Craig to come out and put a press release, we expected it, right? Which was an improvement. Let us just say that, Craig, is an improvement. And everybody want me to talk to is an improvement. But when he said that Leon Bailey is the best footballer from pass, maybe no for Jamaica on the pitch, but pass, and he's talking about appearances. First of all, we're not going to discount Ricardo Fuller. Let us take it back, whatever, who has more appearances than Bailey, right? And we're not going to discount Bibi. And even though Leon is a very good player, talented, and up there making his money, he has 0 trophies to his name. So dial it back a little bit. Let the JFF do what they want for them, because what they're going to do, what are they going to find him? A match fee. The man said he paid his own way. JFF still owe him money, so I don't understand. So is JFF going to fine him, take the money from him, and then use it and reimburse him? I don't know. Some little mix up and excitement have gone. But it's unnecessary. What he said might be facts, but just make your play speak for itself. You don't have to do anything. And then when you're talking about the turnover rate, yes, we get it. Tapa shouldn't be using international games or official games to experiment. We know that. But if that was the case, some players wouldn't get it in. Shamar Nicholson, for example.
Rapid fire, and we'll push up against the clock.
No, man, Benton, we're not push up against no clock, Benton. Hold on. Big up bad with bad Gaza. Big up bad with Gaza. You say Leon is an average baller, laugh out loud. Leon scored twice against Bayern Munich. Tenant say, what about Jamaica Premier League 20 team? We talk about Jamaica Premier League. Bad with bad Gaza. I'll tell you something. You see, we as Jamaican, we're like, sometimes we say some things, not out of anger, but we're balancing out the energy and the vibes. All right? Leon Bailey, right now, talent-wise, right now, from what we have seen from a Jamaican footballer, talent-wise, football talent, most talented player Jamaica have. Now, is he worth the baggage that Craig Butler bring? That is debatable. And this is now me talking seriously. And come on, you reference Ricardo Fuller. Let me tell you something. Jamaica had a baller named Walter Boyd that was deemed not even worth the fight when Jamaica trying to qualify for the '98 World Cup. Jamaica had a baller named Dean Sewell that played right back and was easily dropped for the English baller them. Nobody is expendable, and you are a baller that have a hype for a period of time. Don't think the hype is going to work the whole of your life. You have to maintain your hype, and the time you spend running down what the hype should bring, where you see other ballers getting, which is my perspective. I could be wrong, but that's my perspective. Take that time, hone your skill, get better in your club. One thing people can say about the great ballers, when you look at Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, great ballers of this generation. When you look at a Cristiano Ronaldo, it is constantly working, constantly getting better at his craft, constantly practicing. That is something the Jamaican ballers not Leon Bailey only, that's something the Jamaican ballers need to put into their system and be a part of their DNA. Not because you score 2 goals against Bayern Munich, that means that you have arrived. We've seen people score many goals against Bayern Munich and then that's it. But if we want to get better, you have to take and hone your skill. Let administrator deal with administrative stuff. You are the footballer, deal with football stuff, because you are one injury away from being a forgotten thought. And I'm not wishing that on nobody at all, but that is the reality of life. So
engineer, rapid fire.
Yeah, I'm a rapid fire man.
Leave the engineer talk, but hold on there. Let me just say one player's name and remember the hype surrounding this player that we thought he was the next coming of Christ. James Rodriguez. Remember James at the World Cup? He was the next coming of Christ, and what happened? So we're not taking away from he's young talent, good young talent. But in the case of the JFF, leave JFF and them party shop business alone and focus on your thing. Now make Ricketts and whatever come to sanction you, and then no, you and Craig are gonna talk about and now gonna play for Jamaica, and then the product on the field suffer because Jamaica need you as much as you need Jamaica. Me somebody argue the other day, and I say him don't need a national team. Listen to me. If this young man come on the pitch and play an exceptional game, now care more $32 million a buy at Leverkusen, right? If him come on and him lead Jamaica to a World Cup qualification, you don't tell me that don't affect him or don't help him. And he can turn around and help Jamaica because the rankings are going to go up and him going to help other players to go to the next level. So it is a love-hate relationship and they both need each other. And the distraction is not necessary. Leon will not be the first person to talk about the JFF. I have seen Lovell Palmer take them to task. Missy Messam take them to task. Missy Mattax, Missy Taxi, Damian Lowe, and Nandi Lowe. I've seen these players take the JFF to task, and we're at the same place. Where Leon and Craig and everybody else need to come in is to see if we can change the way how we vote for the people that we put to run the JFF. That's it. Standing on the sidelines and critiquing Tapper is not going to help. And you know, I have my issues with Tapper, but Tapper is doing the best that he can with what he has. And make no mistake about it, Jamaica is not going to hire another coach because Ricketts now have no money.
Rapid fire.
And big up bad Gaza. If you think I wasn't trying to insinuate that you're a youngster still. I never would insinuate that. So big up yourself, man. It's a lively conversation, and we love the feedback. Whether we're right or wrong, guys all love it. Football family, one family.
Rapid fire, ball chat family. Let's wrap it up. One last comment or one last question. RSPL's humble lion head coach, Mr. Andrew Price, say, yo, expresses displeasure with the cancellation of this league this year, especially at this stage. Come on, when these people are going to get it to their head that, I just felt overwhelmed.
I don't know why Andrew Price I got at up Ricketts because Andrew, say Ricketts have a team fee, so easy. But I do understand what you're saying. And I think, and this is not the view of Bar Chat, I think that they should go ahead and pay, if they have prize monies for the stat leaders, go ahead and pay the leading goal scorer, the assist king. Go ahead and just end the season here and just award some trophies, award some money, and make the players them get fit and ready for the upcoming season.
Come on.
Junior, before you chime in, the President Ricketts was on Reggae Football Nation podcast here on Island Sports Network, and he said that I canvassed the EPL, the Jamaican Premier League teams, and 9 of them couldn't prepare or couldn't actually step forward and play. He said, quote, "This is a recommendation of the competition committee, Mr. Daly." You buying that stuff, Junior?
I'm sorry, could or couldn't?
Couldn't play. 9 teams couldn't. He said he did a canvassing, like an election, and 9 teams weren't prepared to play. In his interview on Football Family can check that out. Junior, you were saying you're buying what Mr. Ricketts and the competition committee chairperson, Mr. Daly said, who said we have to think about the entire football, not just the Premier League, the entire football.
This is the same Ricketts, Mr. Ricketts from the JFF, because we want to get a JFF representative on our show. Same brother, we can get a lightning meter at every game. You want me to take the word for you? Listen, man. Come on. Put down the rickets, man. Come on.
Yes.
You're a referee, right? And you are going to tell me, because come on, for all those who don't know, come on, she is an actual referee. You're going to tell me that you want RSPL to pay the leading goal scorer, the leading assist king. Come on, you're a referee. And you referee the game that me, the second leading goal scorer that had 9 goals, you call my idiot offside for me and take my goal, and you want to get the brother and beat me?
Yes. Yeah, first, they have to find me. That's the first thing. They have to find where I live, find where my shop, and then run up in on me shop. Run up into my mess. But you know, I just think it is fair because listen, the players train hard all year, them work hard, them go there, them score. So it is not their fault. And when people talking about the games could have been held, I keep saying this. I have seen my people scale a fence for a free event. If the JFF and the Premier League says we will go ahead with no fans, do you actually think that the Arnett fans and the Waterhouse fans and the Humber Lion fans and the Mobile fans now go to the game? They're not even going to stand right there and they're not even going to wear their masks. So
Groundsman,
I understand what they're saying.
Groundsman.
They have to protect players.
They're increasing the number of groundsmen at the field.
Oh, they never pay the referee them on time. Benton, where you say wrap it up? Oh, and former president of the JFF, Hugh Perry, is dead. He was ill for some time and he was 80. And I remember seeing a video of him or a picture of him last year refereeing, and it was so funny because you had this woman refereeing, but I didn't know he was ill. So they say he was ill for some time. He served as JFF president from 1981, I think, 81 to 1983, I think. That's when he served. So my condolences to Mr. Perry's family.
Rest in peace.
Condolences to Mr. Perry's family. He did his thing, put in some work to build a foundation so Ricketts and others can lead the helm. Engineer.
Big up Beanie and Bounty Killer too.
Big up Beanie man and Bounty Killer. Yo, I hate to know we are going where we are enough. We're going to talk about the rapid fire today. Football family stay safe.
Yeah, we
have a very safe Memorial Weekend and observe the public health and tanner your yard.
Tanner your yard, please. We see too much pictures of people on beaches. Saw a picture Daytona to them. Rampack. Stand on the yard.
It's in Missouri yesterday.
Stand on the yard.
And next weekend, send back Beanie again. We could beat my Bounty Killer, the 5-star general, deal with them.
Course.
Them one ninja and cartel from prison.
Junior, wrap it up.
Me not touch that one. The people, you can follow us on Instagram at BallChat Podcast, on Twitter at BallChat1, Facebook at BallChat. You can email us at ballchatpodcast@gmail.com. But if you still vex with me, juniorculture82@gmail.com. I'm not afraid of nobody. You can watch a full episode on Island Sports Network. You can also watch us on YouTube. And you can listen to the audio podcast at iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, everywhere that you listen to your favorite podcast, you can listen to us. And also big up to Lasana Liburd of Wired868.com. We had him on earlier, talked extensively about the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association. Check out his editorial, check out his writing, and check out his reporting. Big up Mr. Lasana Liburd every time. Much respect. Benton, come on. I forgot to protect myself then because the Leon Bailey fan base about to jump on me, but I are ready because I are the one.
Leon Bailey, don't let them dry out.
I are the one. Yo, look more.